insights with us here at Newsx. Shifting focus now, following the US's action against the Venezuelan president, leaders of the European Union have issued a statement and have called for calm and restraint by all actors to avoid escalation and to ensure peaceful resolution to the crisis. Furthermore, EU said that under all circumstances, the principles of international law and the UN Charter must be upheld. Alright, so after US's actions in Venezuela, wherein it had kidnapped President Nicolas Maduro, now the European Union has come out and shared a statement. Now remember that Maduro as well as his wife have been charged with conspiracy to commit narco-terrorism and import cocaine, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices against the United States. Aditya Vadhavan, my colleague, joins us for more on this. Aditya, now days after US's actions in Venezuela, the European Union has come forward now and issued a statement. What exactly has the European Union said?
Well, absolutely. The European Union is now at this juncture really there is a divided opinion among the European Union that this union say that it is very right on part of America to do this, because considering the fact that Maduro and his wife are actively involved in the drug cartels along in and around Venezuela. So at this juncture, it is a very developing thing, because there are several global reactions that are coming in to this kidnapping of Maduro and his wife by the US army. So indeed, at this juncture, it is a wait and watch situation, and it needs to be seen how things unfold in this scenario. Medha.
Aditya, I would please request you to stay on with me. Now, following a slew of statements from the United States, President Donald Trump has stated that he is not worried that Venezuela will become another Iraq or Afghanistan. Furthermore, he stated that the US is focused on managing Venezuela in a way that allows US to benefit from its economic resources. Aditya, we're now seeing that President Donald Trump has come out and claimed that Venezuela will not become another Iraq.
Well, absolutely, Medha. Indeed, it's a well-known fact. Everybody knows that. Why US has taken this increase, this step. So because it is eyeing the oil reserves, because Venezuela has a lot of oil reserves in the United States, and definitely if you see at this juncture, it is a very everybody is criticizing the fact that a country cannot be annexed in this manner. And definitely, there is a widespread condemnation of President Trump's decision. And if you see, the Prime Minister of Greenland has also come on to say that where we have seen, Trump making statements that, even it is important to take Greenland as well. So at this juncture, the Greenland Prime Minister also issued a statement wherein he has said that Greenland is not for sale, and US cannot unilaterally annex the three countries in the Danish kingdom. Yes, Medha, back to you on that.
Aditya, I would please request you to stay on with me. Now, Chinese oil stocks have seen a sharp fall after investors reacted to the US capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, raising concerns over China's future access to Venezuelan crude. Venezuela has been a key supplier to China, especially under US sanctions. Markets fear supply disruptions or tighter controls could hit Chinese refiners reliant on heavy crude imports. Aditya, we're also now learning that Chinese stocks have seen a fall after the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
Well, absolutely, Medha. This was one of the the aim of the United States. Particularly we talk about U.S. President Donald Trump. Because in the past, despite the U.S. sanctions on Venezuela, China was importing a lot of oil from Venezuela, and definitely the neighboring of Venezuela is Peru. Definitely, China was also buying some copper reserves from Peru. So indeed, this has been done. Some reports suggest that this action of U.S. President Donald Trump is to contain the rising rise of China in South America, because China has been for quite some years now has been taking oil from these South American countries. Venezuela was was a big market for the Chinese Communist Party as far as the oil reserves are concerned. Surprisingly, it is a very well-known fact that Venezuela
All right, it seems like we're facing a bit of a network issue right there. Thank you, Aditya, so much for sharing all those details with us. With that, I step into a short break. Thank you so much for watching.